New Orleans Saints had visions of grandeur this season. But last week, those visions turned into a nightmare when quarterback Bobby Hebert was nearly pounded into submission, as was his backup John Forcade. Battered and bruised after 2 straight losses, the Saints know that a victory today is a vision they must make come true. When they last met, it was Washington who had the last word. But the Saints have long memories, and payback time could be today. The Redskins and the Saints, live from the Louisiana Superdome. There's no city quite like New Orleans, and there's no arena quite like the Superdome. No need to discuss the weather because it's perfect. We're indoors. Hi, I'm Pat Summerall along with John Madden. These teams both are 1-2. They both beat Dallas. Both had high hopes as the season began. What do you think in the case of the Redskins first, John? What do you think has gone wrong?
Well, I think just one word, turnovers, and that's what Joe Gibbs will tell you, that we're a good team and we just can't have any turnovers. And if you look at their offense, I mean, they got the big offensive line, the great running back, they got great wide receivers running all over the field. I think the Redskins are not only one of the best teams in their division, I think they're one of the best teams in the entire football league. And I think the one thing that they have to do is somehow eliminate those turnovers. They've had 10 turnovers in 3 games.
You know, in the case of the New Orleans Saints, they too had high hopes, yet they're 1-2. Last week against Tampa Bay, their quarterbacks took a terrific beating. Bobby Hebert, the starter, didn't work very much this week. He had a concussion and a bad ankle. How is that going to affect them?
Well, I think the bad ankle is the big thing now. In fact, Bobby Hebert didn't even work out yesterday, and so the big thing the Saints have to do, they have to protect Hebert, maybe a little more than they're used to. But the thing that has really upset their coach, Jim Moore, is their defense. He said, on 3rd down, we just can't stop anyone. In fact, we stink. Now, I think he's going to get some added help today. That's Ricky Jackson. It's an amazing story. Jackson was in a car accident. He thought that he was going to miss 6 weeks. Then they said 4. He has only missed 2 games, and he's back playing today. That could be the lift that the Saints need.
The Saints will have the ball first. They won the toss. Obviously chose because there are no weather conditions to kick off or to receive the kickoff. And so Chip Lohmiller goes into action. Gene Atkins returns the kickoff for the Saints, gets out to about the 25. Bobby Hebert will open at quarterback. Battered and bruised though he is. And this is the offensive line in front of him. It's a good, very large offensive line. Dombrowski, Hilgenberg, Court, Trapillo, Stan Brock, and Hobie Brenner, the tight end. Behind Hebert, Dalton Hilliard, Buford Jordan. Wide receivers Martin and Hill, and when they go to the 4 wide receiver package, it'll be Perryman and Floyd Turner. Hebert, his 8th concussion last week. He was knocked out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But starting nevertheless. But not 100% certain. Brenner is the move man, and the tight end winds up on the left side. Hebert takes a timeout on the first play. Didn't like what he saw on defense. And here is that defense that upset him. Manley Grant, Marcus Cook, and Charles Mann. The linebackers, Wilbur Marshall and Raven Caldwell starting on the outside. Olkowitz in the middle. And the secondary, Davis, Green, Bowles, and Walton. And when they go with their nickel package, the 6 defensive backs, it'll be Wilburn and Johnson. Charles Mann, if there is a key man in that Redskin defensive setup now, there he is.
And they're going to move Charles Mann all over the field where, you know, he plays left defensive end. Then he'll move at tackle. Then they put him over the center. They're trying to get Charles Mann on the weakest offensive lineman they can find.
Again, it's Brenner on the move. The same offensive setup. Lonzel Hill in motion, and Hebert fakes the pitch back. Finally does throw it back to Dalvin Hilliard. No gain. Todd Bowles came up to make the force. Maybe he got a yard.
Hey, you were talking last week, Bobby Hebert was knocked out in the first half of the Tampa Bay game, and then John Fourcade came in and got hurt at the end of halftime. Bobby Hebert had to come back in the third quarter. He said he was still in Dream Street at that time, and he said it was just kind of rote memory that got him through the third quarter. Then finally in the fourth quarter, he started to feel normal again.
Two tight ends this time for the Saints setup. Hebert back to throw it. Flipped by Washington. Gets it out to Eric Martin. Fumble. And the Redskins have the football. Darrell Grant comes up with it. And so far, it's ruled as a fumble. Darrell Green made the hit that knocked it loose.
That was the thing that the Redskins wanted to do. Instead of giving up the ball, they wanted to start getting some more turnover. Well, see, this is the way you do it. Good pressure on the quarterback. Make him throw. Martin catches the ball. It's that second hit that gets him. It wasn't the first one. It was Raven Caldwell. When he hit him, boom, that ball just swept right out of there.
Darrell Grant hit him from behind, and Raven Caldwell from the other direction. Mark Rippon is the starting quarterback now for the Redskins. Off to a hot start. Lachey, Grimm, Bostic, May, Jacoby, the offensive line, and a fine blocking H-back, Don Warren. Riggs and Biner start at running back. The H-back is Biner. Monk and Sanders wide, and Joe Howard goes in place of Gary Clark.
The play stands.
Play stands. They reviewed it, and they got it done quickly. It'll be 1st and 10 Redskins at the Saint 29. So those turnovers that the Redskins dreaded, at least the first one went in their direction. Mike Tice and Don Warren both. And this is Riggs over the right side. Tripped short of the line of scrimmage. A loss of about a yard. Sam Mills tripped him up. The Saint defense. Warren Wilkes and Jumpy Geathers up front. Jackson, Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling, the 4 linebackers. Massey, Toy Cook, Waymer, and Atkins, the 2 safety men. And then when they put the extra backs in, it's Maxey and Mack. 2nd and 11 at the 30.
Joe Howard is a second-year wide receiver. He's playing for Gary Clark. Looks a little confused early.
They put Monk in motion, and Rippon goes for Howard. Way over his head. Massey on the coverage.
You don't see that happen often, Pat, where the guy who is going to get the pass lines up on the wrong side of the field. That's what Joe Howard did. He lined up in the left. Rippon had to tell him, hey, no, get over on the other side. And he got over on the other side, and it was his number that was called.
3rd and 11.
Now, this is the area that Jim Mora has been very, very disappointed in his team. This 3rd down area. So we can't stop anyone on 3rd down.
Sanders and Howard split wide to the left. Rippon backpedals. And some pressure, and the pass is over the receiver's head. Intended for Ricky Sanders. Incomplete. And that's what they're looking for. Pressure on 3rd down, and here it is.
But we're going to see it coming from Jumpy Geathers, number 97. You see him, he takes an inside move, and he gets right into Rippon's face. And then the other thing they had downfield, they had good coverage. Watch here, we'll see the coverage here. Boom, you get your hands on him. That's Milton Mack, number 24. Rippon didn't have time to throw it, nor did he have anyone to throw to.
So Lohmiller from 48 yards. It's good. Just barely over the crossbar, but good. And so the Redskins do take advantage somewhat of that early turnover. And a 48-yard field goal makes it 3-0 Washington. The Redskins 3, the Saints nothing. Redskins scoring drive, if you can call it that. They kept it 4 plays. They lost a yard in 3. That's Jim Lachey departing. Derek Shepard from the goal line up to about the 19 before he's tripped up. 19-yard return. A.J. Johnson tripped him up. Another area that the Redskins have sort of decreased in, I guess you'd have to say, is the special team coverage. And that they're going to work on. Lachey, by the way, you saw him leave a minute ago, has a dislocated thumb. I expect they'll be able to relocate it, and he'll be back.
Oh, yeah, they just popped that thing back in, put a little tape on it, and prop him right back out there at that left tackle slot.
Dalton Hilliard is split wide to the right this time. Hebert. The pass complete to his tight end, Hobie Brenner. Alvin Walton on the stop.
See, this Bobby Hebert is amazing how quickly he gets rid of the ball. I mean, he's back there, boom, and he just sees things, and how he can get that ball there so quickly. Watch, the minute he sees it, boom, it's right there. I mean, there's two guys on one side, another guy on the other side of Brenner. All you have to be open is a step for Hebert to get the ball to you.
1st and 10 Saints. Lonzel Hill in motion. Hebert back to throw it. Blitz coming. Hebert has his tight end, Hobie Brenner. Good catch. He's inside the Redskin 40. Brian Davis brought him down. A great throw and a great catch.
That was one of the things Bobby Hebert says. They cover the tight end with a linebacker. Raven Caldwell, number 50, will end up covering Hobie Brenner. He says if they're going to do that, our tight ends have to be able to beat their linebackers. Hobie Brenner did it.
That's their pass distribution before this game. To the wide receivers 37 times, to the tight ends 11 times. Twice already in this game, he's hit Brenner. Hand off to Buford. And Jordan could go all the way. Inside the 10 to about the 5, knocked out of bounds by Darrell Green. A gain of 32 yards. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 10.
Heck of a cutback by Buford Jordan. Watch the front. He's going to start to the right. Now watch, he sees the cut back there. There's no hole there. Cuts back to the left. Runs right by Dexter Manley. This could have gone all the way, except for one thing. The guy chasing was the fastest guy in the league.
That would be Darrell Grant. Buford Jordan. That might be his longest gain ever.
In fact, I think he hurt himself on that play too, man.
He's replaced by Hayward. This is Dalton Hilliard, touchdown. Flag on the play, however. 6-yard touchdown run by Dalton Hilliard. Jerry Markbright is the referee, and a flag on the play.
And it looks like it's going against the Saints, bringing that touchdown back. Boy, that Dalton Hilliard is a quick, powerful guy.
Ball start, number 34, offense. 1st down.
That's Craig Hayward. He was lined up as a tight end on the left side that time. Not used to that. Maybe that's why it's a false start.
Well, I think the thing that they worry about Craig Hayward and they talk about is that he doesn't concentrate as much in practice, doesn't know all the plays, and they don't play him as much because of that. Then you jump in, and the first time something like that happens, that just gets the coaches more upset.
He's the lone setback this time. Hebert. Touchdown. Lonzel Hill. No flags this time. Brian Davis was the defender. Third touchdown this year for Lonzel Hill. Hebert's 4th.
I think next to Joe Montana, Bobby Hebert throws this pass better than anyone in football. The slant pass, 3-step drop, boom. See 87 in there, Bo Hill hits him right between the two defenders. That was a perfect pass, perfect location.
Perfect timing. Touchdown results.
Nice spike.
And Anderson, Morton Anderson, maybe the best, to try the extra point. And it's good. 11-13 left to play in the first quarter. And the Saints have the lead over the Redskins 7-3. Saints have the lead. They went 80 yards in 4 plays. Kept the ball a minute, 49 seconds. Bobby Hebert, 3 for 3 in the drive. And the touchdown pass to Lonzell Hill. Anderson set to kick off in the direction of Joe Howard and A.J. Johnson. Deep into the end zone. He's going to bring it out for about 7 yards deep in the end zone. And gets it back to about the 20, does Johnson.
Yeah, the other big guy on that drive was a run of Buford Jordan. You see him there on the sideline. He pulled a hamstring on that run. So that could be the end of him for today.
And maybe another day.
He's been one of those guys that is a real contributor to this New Orleans Saint offense. Smart guy, good blocker, good pass receiver. And then he finally gets a chance on a big run and he pulls a hamstring.
So that'll mean we'll see more of Craig Hayward than we anticipated. That's Ernest Biner coming wide to the left. Riggs is the lone setback. A big, powerful offensive line. This is Rippon in the direction of Ricky Sanders. Robert Massey back there with him.
Well, that's the thing you're going to see in any game plan. You see one thing, take your fastest guy, which is Ricky Sanders in the Redskins, and put them against a rookie corner. And that's exactly what we got there. Ricky Sanders against Robert Massey. But I'll tell you, this Massey is going to be a good player. I think he's a good corner right now. And I think in a few years, he's going to be one of the top corners in the league.
He'll be looking at Art Monk this time. Sanders comes to the left. Warren on the move. This is Riggs. And he's alone. A pickup of 6. Pat Swilling made the stop.
Look at Gerald Riggs. You talk about a load. He looks like some of those nose tackles. And then he wears those big shoulder pads. Look at his pads on the back go all the way down to his waist.
Here come the 6 defensive backs down. Maxey and Mack, you saw just jogging on the field. And here's the way they'll line it up. Cook and Massey on the corners. Atkins and Waymer the safeties. And then the 2 extra men, Maxey and Mack. So that's what Mark Rippon will be looking at. Hard stop and start motion. Rippon gets it to Monk. Close to first down yardage with that last little surge. Dave Waymer was the tackler.
Yeah, you know, one thing that we're not seeing here today is Gary Clark. Gary Clark pulled a hamstring. Didn't practice much during the week. We talked to him last night, and he wanted to not only play, he wanted to start and thought he could and would, but it doesn't look like Joe Gibbs feels that way.
He was going to try to convince the coach in the pregame warmups that he could go and was okay. First down. And so many times he has when we thought he wouldn't, but not this time apparently.
Well, you never know. He really doesn't look like he's ready to play there. I mean, I would think that someone told him that he's probably not going to play unless it becomes a dire need. I don't think he's part of today's game plan.
So it's 1st and 10 Washington, just outside their own 30. Art Monk split wide to the left. Sanders on the other side. And off to Riggs. Riggs is hit behind the line of scrimmage. There's a penalty flag on the play. No gain, maybe 1 for Riggs. Swilling again made the stop with Frank Warren. And it's going to be against the Redskins.
You know, that last play, we just saw what the Saints do best on defense, gang tackle. You see all those guys on that tackle, there's about 5 or 6.
53, offense, first down.
That's the center, Jeff Bostic, holding in there against the nose tackle, Jim Wilkes. Really didn't have to do that because the play was to the outside. It wasn't Usually the guy that holds and plays directed at him, and this was directed to the outside. You don't have to hold in the middle.
1st and 20 at the 21. Warren again moves and lines up on the left side. And Rippon is back to throw it. Screen pass, Riggs. And Riggs gets back, picks up 8 yards, stopped by Sam Mills.
Yeah, Ricky Jackson we saw out there on that screen. He's an amazing story. He had his cheekbone was fractured. He had surgery. He has a plate above his right eye, a plate below his right eye, wires and screws in his face. And they thought that he'd be out 6 weeks. He told them no way. He's missed 2 games. And yesterday he was the most excited guy about this game.
Right now he gets a rest. That is a remarkable story how he made it back so quickly.
He is one tough man.
There's Rippon on a planned rollout. Gets it upfield, complete to Sanders. Sanders will have a Redskin first down. Mack and Waymer bring him down, but a pickup of 18, and that'll be enough.
Let's watch how they protect here. Now, you know that Rippon is going to come out to his left. So they want to get into their guys and then turn. You see, and then get this thing right here turned so Rippon can get out here free as he does. So they form a wall for him, get outside the wall, and then look for his receiver.
So it's 1st and 10 Redskins with a little breathing room now. They're at their own 47. Reverse to Sanders. It almost was stopped at the line of scrimmage, and now it is by Robert Massey. Excellent, excellent effort.
You know, one of the things a cornerback in this league has to have, he has to be able to run, and he has to have talent, he has to be able to tackle, but he has to be a cocky individual. And this number 40, Robert Massey, has that. He is going to play in this league, and he's not going to take anything. You see Sanders out there, he was going to stiff arm him. Boom, Massey would have none of that.
Stop that reverse for no gain. 2nd and 10.
I think this guy's a good player. I think he's a good cover guy, too.
So far today, from what we've seen, he's been excellent.
And they're going to work on him.
Here's Riggs. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. A fumble. And the Saints might be on top of it. Dave Waymer, I think, was the person there, but he lost it.
Gerald Riggs has not been a fumbler in his career.
Isn't that amazing?
And he's having more problems this year than he's ever had with it. Hey, in the Philadelphia Eagle game, it just killed him.
Well, they say he was down before the ball popped out, so...
That's a lucky break. That
really
is the thing that has the Redskins more concerned than anything. And it's something you can't talk about. Watch, it's that counter tray. The Saints get good penetration. They gang tackle.
Again, it's that gang tackling that you were talking about that caused that ball to come out.
They always get a bunch of hats in the ball.
Here's Rippon on the roll. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Monk. Milton Mack was right there with him. Waymer put the heat on Rippon.
I think Jim Mora got this team's attention on that 3rd down defense. I think they had been worried about that too much, so he's not only got the rush, but watch his coverage. Milton Mack is number 24. He's working on Art Monk. He was a starting corner. He'd been beaten out by Toy Cook. He's not starting anymore, but he still goes in on 3rd down. That is very, very good coverage.
You can't do it better than that, can you?
Art Monk didn't make much of a move there either.
Olshenko gets off a rocket. Derek Shepard at the goal line gets away from the first Redskin. He's lucky to get out of that one. That's a ball perhaps he should not have, no perhaps, he should not have handled that. 52-yard punt, a return of 10 with 5:40 left first quarter. 7-3 Saints. 7-3 the Saints over the Redskins. 5:40 left in the first quarter. We're talking about Ricky Jackson. This would be normally the mask that he would wear. but since that automobile accident, that's the extra protection.
Right. For today, they had this mask made up, and you can see that it has extra bars across here, extra bars up and down, the big one in the middle, over here on the side. There is no way that you can get inside this face mask.
He's lucky to be able to see out. 1st and 10. Hilliard, left side with room. Flag on the play. He had what looked like 20 yards, but the flag went down. Alvin Walton made the stop.
Hey, one thing, early in this game, the Saints looked spry and the Redskins looked dead to me. They should have had a fumble recovery they didn't get. They should have had a big play down there, touchdown.
Number 84, offense. 1st down.
Holding call against Eric Martin. Takes away that 20-yard sprint by Dalton Hilliard. And they'll bring it back.
That's what I was just saying. They should have had that run there. I mean, they're only ahead 7-3, but they look like they're ready to play. They got life, and the Redskins look like they're just standing around waiting for something to happen.
1st and 20.
Dexter Manley got the penetration on that play. You remember Dombrowski, number 72 there against Dexter Manley last year in Washington. That was the end of the game. The Saints were driving. Dexter Manley spit in his face. Dombrowski punches Manley. Saints get a 15-yard penalty, move Morton Anderson back, and he misses a field goal.
And then as a result of that, the Redskins got another shot. They won the game. Field goal by Lohmiller. Flag on the play. It was Manley who jumped. Pass is caught by Lonzel Hill. What an excellent catch. Gain of 25. Flag on the play again.
I'll tell you one thing, that's unbelievable. 2 penalties.
Offside, number 72, defense.
Manley.
Decline.
And of course they decline.
The first one goes against the Saints. They get back that, and then they come right back. Now you see what happened is Dexter Manley, he broke across that plane and didn't get back. He didn't make contact. He could have gotten back because he's a defensive player, but he didn't get back.
And Hebert hits Hill for a Saint 1st down. They lead 7-3. 1st and 10. The ball is at the Saint 36. Hilliard. The middle. Alvin Walton again on the stop, but Hilliard got 6 yards. And this one, for the first time since he's carried the ball, it seems like, is not called back because of a penalty.
Right, and he made a nice cut off of Charles Mann. Charles Mann was playing nose tackle on that play. As I said, they move him around, trying to get him in a pass rushing situation. Here's Mann here, and now watch, he hits in there. Hilliard makes a good cut off Mann. You see, they just take Mann out to the side, and Hilliard cuts right against him.
2nd and 4. Hilliard in motion. Hayward gets the ball. Right side struggles for maybe a yard. Marcus Cook and Charles Mann wrap him up for the Redskins.
Marcus Cook playing that left defensive tackle for, seemed like forever. Dave Butts was playing in there, and this Redskin defense just doesn't look the same without Butts, and I think they miss him a little more than they thought they would.
I agree.
One thing, when you played the Redskins, one thing you could never do was run inside.
It was like running into a big wall when Butch was in there. Nobody ever pushed him back. 3rd down. They need a couple. Hebert trying to dump it over to Hobie Brenner. That play looked out of sync from the beginning.
But, you know, it looked like a pass, and no one went out for a pass. You know, it's the old deal. He didn't have any receivers. He got the pressure from Charles Mann, but look, both tight ends blocked. Or maybe Mann was holding up tight. Hebert's coming on a sprint and a rollout or an option or something, and there was no one to throw it to.
That's his first incompletion of the day, Hebert. Winslow back to punt, and Joe Howard back deep for the Redskins.
The old thing in street football where you got the passer and you forget to tell anyone to go out.
The short snap to the up back. Bobby Morse on a fake punt. Planned from the beginning. And Morse gets down inside the Redskins 20. A gain of 40 yards.
They just activated Morse this week. Yesterday they were practicing that play here in the Dome. We always see it Saturday, and you never think they're going to do it in a game. And it's just a short snap. Watch the punter. He's going to jump up. He's going to jump up like the ball went over his head. It's just a short snap like the old single wing. They just give it to Morse right there. Bobby Morse breaks through before any of the Redskins even see him.
Dalton Hilliard now is the lone setback, and he'll get the carry. A flag on the play again. He got 2 yards. Raven Caldwell stopped him, but again, a penalty.
We were talking to Bobby Hebert yesterday. He said that he wanted to keep moving the formations.
Number 72, offense. First down.
Dombrowski, the Saints, number 72, holding the Redskins, number 72, Dexter Manley.
Well, Dombrowski's been worked up all week about playing against Dexter Manley. He said he had no respect for him whatsoever after what he did to him in Washington. And if he said if he did what he did to me again, I would do what I did to him again.
I think that I would have to agree with that.
I don't know many people that wouldn't. Especially they're down there wearing shoulder pads.
First down. Hebert back to throw it. Denzel Hill inside the 20. From behind, tackled by Brian Davis. They got back the penalty yardage almost. They got 9.
Hey, there was pretty good protection. It broke up right at the end because they're going to get Hebert hit. Let's watch Dombrowski here against Manley. He gets into him good. Boom, he got both hands up there. Now Manley just takes him and keeps driving him and gets him backed up. But that's pretty good protection, even though I know he got the hold. He had the hook on there in the left shoulder, but he stayed between Manley and his quarterback.
And that's a wide body.
Yeah, you can play handball on that body.
2nd and 11. Hebert. Incomplete. Intended for Paul Frazier, but there were a gang of Redskins around that one.
Well, that's what they try and do. They try and get the running back out and get Alvin Walton out there having to cover man-to-man.
You know, the Saints lead the NFL in time of possession. That's what they really concentrate on, and they've been able to do it today.
And if they have a healthy Bobby Hebert, and it's the first time they've had all their wide receivers healthy, they are very tough to stop.
Receivers operate this time for the Saints. 3rd and 11. Hebert complete. Juggled and almost picked off. And it might have been. Bowles came up with it. He got the rebound.
You have to give that to Monty Coleman, though. Monty Coleman came from the backside of Hebert and hit him just as he threw it. I think that made the ball go a little high. And it bounced off. Look at that, the bounce, the kick, and the ball never did hit the ground before Bowles came up with it.
It's intended for Eric Martin, but they got an assist from the back of somebody's foot.
That was A.J. Johnson.
7-3 with 40 seconds left first quarter. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Lachey is back at left tackle for the Redskins. 40 seconds remain first quarter. 7-3 Saints. First and 10 Redskins. Ripping to Riggs. No gain. Maybe one. Vaughn Johnson led the defense.
And Vaughn Johnson led a whole bunch of other guys in there. Did you see? I bet if you counted the black jerseys on that file, I bet there was 7 guys in there.
That's been the secret to their success, I think, John.
And I think that the thing that helped, too, is getting Ricky Jackson back. Sometimes you can replace a guy's body, but the guy may be the spirit. He may be the soul. He may be the life of your defense, and you take him out of there and you lose all that life.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Saints 7, the Redskins 3. Redskins have the ball 2nd and 9 at their own 6-yard line. The Saints outgained them 175 yards to 35 in the first quarter, and they lead 7-3. Art Rippon back to throw it. In the end zone, Sanders is complete. Massey, the defender, 11-yard gain, and that should be enough to give them 4 more downs and some breathing room.
Well, they got to the old single wing type of thing. They had the tight end and Biner as a wing back up on that side, so they were able to outflank the Saint defense, then rip and roll out, and he just got that man-on-man situation with Sanders on Massey.
First and 10 from the 17. Biner is back with Riggs this time. Handoff is to Gerald Riggs on the counter tray. Ricky Jackson on the stop, and for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York. And here is Brent Musburger.
Pat, here's the story with the Minnesota Vikings. Wade Wilson out for the day. Broken bone, ring finger, left hand. Tommy Kramer in. Touchdown pass to Anthony Carter. And the Vikes go up 7-zip. Back to Pat and John.
Well, those Vikings have had a tough time, Brent. Everybody's shocked, I think, by their performance against the Bears, and then losing again last week. And Tommy Kramer back at quarterback. They'll lose a lot with him. Here's Rippon. Sanders incomplete. Toy Cook was the defender.
Now we just see Wade Wilson out. Last week it was Bobby Hebert out, and then John Forcade went out. But most teams only carry 2 quarterbacks. Like on week 1 there were 21 teams, 23 and 23 in week 2 and 3. So even though they'll carry 3 quarterbacks on their 47, most teams only carry 2 of them active each Sunday.
The Saints have 3, and that's the 3rd one.
Well, I think with Forcade, I think today he's the 2nd one.
Maybe he is.
I don't think there's any way John Forcade, who is the 2nd one, could play.
That, of course, is Dave Wilson. Here's Rippon in the pocket and firing, and picked off by the Saints. By David Waymer. He almost got more, but he was tripped up by Sanders after he made the interception.
I think Dave Waymer was in a shock how he got that ball. That was just a terrible pass by Rippon. That just goes over the head of everyone and into Waymer. But Rippon, he steps up here. He just throws that ball. There's no way. I don't know how Sanders could get it. Throws it over his head. And there's Dave Waymer, the free safety, saying, look what I found.
34th career interception. 2nd on the Saints all-time list.
I like that moving from corner to safety, because a free safety has to help the corners. And the fact you've been there, you know how to help them.
Man lined up in the middle. He jumped, and the flag goes down, so he must have made contact.
Encroachment foul, number 71, defense, first down.
He encroached.
You always wonder how the guy over the ball can. I'm sure someone's telling Charles Mann, hey, you're over the ball. Watch the ball. Now, if you're way outside, you can say, I can't see it. But how can you not see it when you're right over it? And that's where Mann was on that last play.
Maybe just not used to being in there. That's where he is again. as Manley moves over to the left side.
Just look down a little.
Hand off to Hilliard. No gain. Maybe a yard. But they bottled up pretty well.
You know what does get them, though, on that thing? They're over the ball, but the thing that gets them is the cadence of the quarterback when they give him that hard snap. You know, that you know, that type of thing. That'll make him jump.
Second down. Ball's at the 36. 4 wide receivers, or 3 wide receivers, beg your pardon. One of whom is Dalton Hilliard, split wide to the left. Second down. Need about 4. Redskins show blitz. Deep. Ronzel Hill makes the catch. At about the 4. Brian Davis was the defender. The ball was underthrown. The receiver came back. The defender didn't.
That was a pass that Johnny Unitas was the master at. You get that up thing. Watch the outside guy, Ronzel Hill. He's running an up on Davis. Now, it's not bad sometimes to throw it short. You let the defensive guy run by, and the offensive guy, he stops and comes up with it. That's not a bad place to throw it up. I don't know if that one was planned or not, but I've seen that done for years.
Over and over you see that. Ronzel Hill having a hot day. First and goal from the 3. It's Hilliard. He should score. And he does. A good block up front by Hayward.
Ironhead Hayward, you get a 260-pound fullback. Watch him block Darrell Green. Boink. Now one more time. Boink. Darrell Green just goes right to the ground. He didn't have a chance.
No.
If you can't run behind that, you can't run.
Morton Anderson will try for the extra point. Well done. So the Saints take advantage of the turnover, the interception, and move it in 3 plays. Take a 14-3.
These big hogs up front. We go out, we get Riggs, we go out, we get Finer, we got these wide receivers, but you still can't be the best. You still can't be a championship team if you're going to turn the ball over. You're not that much better than anyone.
And they're missing one of those key wide receivers, too. Jerry Clark. Here's Ripton back to throw it. Chased out of the pocket, pass caught by Riggs. Stopped by Mills. 8-yard gain, however. Swilling put the heat on Ripon.
You look at this. This has always been the key for the Redskins, being able to run, control the ball, gain a lot on first down. Look, they're only 1.5 on first down, which means they have to force things on second and third. Then on the other side, New Orleans is averaging over 10 yards per try on first down.
Second and 2. Redskins at 32. The handoff to Riggs behind the line of scrimmage by Waymer. A loss of 2.
When the Saints want to stop the run, when they want to get 8 guys against the run, this is the guy that they do it with, Waymer. He's a free safety. They bring him up into a linebacker position. So then instead of having a front 7 of 3 linemen, 4 linebackers, you have those 7 plus Waymer up there as an 8th guy.
Third down 4. Washington has gained only 5 yards rushing so far. Ripon back to throw it. Under pressure, and he throws it to the green grass. Or the turf. He didn't have time. The Saints with heat on Ripon, and that's another ingredient they've been missing till now.
That's the thing. The 2 things that we're seeing here, we're seeing the heat. We're seeing Ricky Jackson back. We're seeing third down defense that the Saints haven't had.
Moshenko back to punt. His first one was Very deep, very high, and very good. This one is also a rocket. All the way back over the head of Derek Shepard and out of bounds. Boy, what a display he's putting on. Funny, I was talking with the two Redskin kickers before the game and I asked them if they liked kicking in here, and both of them said no. It feels like dead air, but he's sure been good. 14-3. I'm Madden, I'm Pat Summerall, and we're at the Louisiana Superdome. We'll be back here in January with CBS crew and the Super Bowl this year. Look at the quarterback comparison so far. Bobby Hebert, there was some doubt about whether he'd be able to play at all. 7 out of 10 for 122. Rippin struggling a little bit. Saints have the ball. That's Hebert. 1st and 10 at the 7. To Hilliard. Outside for a pickup of about 8. Stopped by Olkowitz and Brian Davis.
You see Charles, man, he got across the line. It looked like a whirling dervish. He was spinning around there, and Dalton Hilliard just runs right by him.
While he was on the backside of the
Watch
spin.
him. He's over here. He gets up there, and he does a spin. He's coming off a block. He starts to spin, and by the time he gets around, Hilliard's long gone. You got to get up and stay square and turn stuff back in if you're the contained man.
2nd and 3. Hilliard got 7 instead of 8. Try again. Dexter Manley got the handout that tripped him up.
I think Dexter Manley was signaling over there to the Saints bench. He's not signaling to his bench. He's signaling to the Saint bench, hey, keep running at me. That's okay. Because that's been a word against Dexter Manley. Good pass rush, but you can run on him. I think when he says, okay, he stops it. He took on Dombrowski and stopped it. Then he was signaling to Moore and his staff, keep it up, keep coming over here.
3rd and about 3. Hebert on the spread formation this time. Low snap, but he got it. Monzel Hill, the intended receiver, well covered this time by Brian Davis.
Hebert's going to get back there and fire that thing. Brian Davis had good coverage there. You have to be good on him because he's going to get there quickly.
George Winslow will come back to kick, number 9 for the Saints. And Joe Howard will be deep for the Redskins, standing at his own 45. Side of his foot. Takes a favorable bounce, however, and the Saints are down to cover it in good shape. He didn't look like much. A penalty marker on the play back at the line of scrimmage. Wound up being a 56-yard punt after it looked like a missed shot.
Those punters might not like the dead air in here, but they sure like those bounces they get.
It's holding against the Redskins.
Holding, number 91, defense. Automatic first down.
Now that is a big play. Because now you get the ball back. Now that holding has to be before the ball was kicked. That is one of the toughest penalties in football. Because you not only don't have the ball, the other team gets the ball back with 4 down.
Plus the yardage for the penalty. It was called against this guy, number 91, Minuski. He looks like a Minuski.
Well, and he plays like a Minuski, and he explains like a Minuski. He's hitting, then he's running around there. He said, I didn't hold him, I just hooked him. But for that penalty to be called for the Saints to get the ball back, it had to be before the ball was kicked.
1st and 10. Hayward the lone setback. Hebert, chased by man, finally gets rid of it. That might be intentional grounding. He was in the grass, is what they're saying now.
I think.
Excuse me, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he was. This is where man is going to get the pressure right up the middle. They move him around mostly to get a mismatch, mostly to get him against someone who couldn't block him. And you see what he did? He just took Steve Court, the center, and just pushed him right into the backfield.
That's the 4th consecutive game with a quarterback sack for Charles Mann. When they put him in there, he winds up one-on-one with somebody.
Now he just shifted in there.
Second and 17. The handoff is to Dalton Hilliard. And a blocker in front. But not enough blockers in front. Well, maybe so. Hilliard finally taken down by Darrell Green. Again, that great speed of the NFL's fastest man becomes a factor.
And if it weren't for Darrell Green, that could have been a touchdown by Dalton Hilliard. Watch it here. He starts here. There's nothing here. But watch when he starts back to his right. There is no one out there. That's a wall. Watch from this point on right here. And if Darrell Green doesn't get him there, he would have had something up that sideline. That's a heck of a play by Darrell Green.
He held him to a 5-yard gain with a heck of a play. So it's 3rd and 12. 4 wide receivers. Hebert back in the pocket. Flag on the play. Pass complete. Caught by Floyd Turner.
Hebert had to throw it exactly when he threw it, because on that backside, Dexter Manley was hanging right on him or ready to doink him right as he threw it.
Number 28, defense. Penalty decline. First down.
Called against Darrell Green. They gained 20 yards, so they declined the penalty.
Hey, on that one, Bobby Hebert had just enough protection. Now watch him. Here's Darrell Green. He's the guy that made the great tackle on the play before, and he's also the guy that they're going to call holding on right here. Looks like he was being held early. Just stay with it. I don't know.
First and 10 at the 37. Hilliard moves up onto the line of scrimmage. In motion comes Martin. Hebert back to throw it. Out to Dalton Hilliard, who breaks a couple of tackles and gets another Saints first down. Walton and Bowles made the stop after a 12-yard gain by Dalton Hilliard.
That time, Bobby Hebert had great pass protection. The left side of the line, Dombrowski over there, Hilgenberg over there is playing left guard. Watch them. They just take this side right here on the bottom part of the screen. See that protection? Look, they keep their guys right on the line of scrimmage. He got some pressure from Mann up on top, but because he was so perfect on the left side, that gave him time.
First and 10 Saints, just shy of midfield. Hebert's going to throw it again if he has time, and does underneath to Dalton Hilliard. Another flag down. I think they held Charles Mann in the middle.
It looked like it because Mann was breaking through. He was all ready to make a play, and boom, he just went down.
They're signaling against the Redskins.
Ironhead said that, yeah, that was not against the Saints.
And Mann is indicating they'll be offsetting penalties.
Holding number 77, defense. Holding number 61, offense. Penalties offset. First down.
Grant is 77 for the Redskins. Hilgenberg is 61.
Just watch Mann here, and you'll see why they were holding him. The guy that's going to be holding him is the left guard, number 61. But Mann starts getting that penetration right there. You see, if Hilgenberg doesn't tackle him right there, Mann is going to be on Hebert. So they're having a tough time with Mann in the middle.
That time, nobody initially even tried to block him.
And by the time,
came late.
yeah, by the time he saw it, he had a tackle.
Here's the handoff to Hayward. Couple. Maybe 3. Raven Caldwell was the first Redskin to tackle him.
I was talking to Ironhead yesterday after practice, and he's been a little frustrated. He's not playing as much as he wanted to. He's not getting the ball as much. He's had a broken thumb, and you know, they expected big things of him when he came out of Pittsburgh, and he wants to give them big things, but I think he feels he just needs the ball more.
And of course, if you look at that weight, when you're idle, that's something you have to fight. Flag on the play. Hebert has the pass picked off by Alvin Walton, but the Redskins were offside. Intended for Dalton Hilliard.
That's one of the things that the Saints talked about. They wanted to get Hilliard out as a wide receiver and make Alvin Walton cover.
Offside. Number 71, defense.
Man jump.
See, here's what they want, Pat, out here is Alvin Walton is a strong safety. And they feel he's a good tackler. He's a good guy against the run, but he's not good at man-on-man coverage. So the way to get him out is to put the running back out. Of course, that time they worked on him. Everyone's been doing that to Alvin Walton, so now he's getting used to it, so he picks it off. Of course, it doesn't count because they were offside.
So it brings up a 2nd and 3. The Saints have controlled the clock. And they're so very good at that. Hand off to Hilliard. First down. He is a strong man. Fumble on the play. Scramble for the ball. Redskin offensive unit already on the field.
As you say, the first hitter in there was Todd Bowles. Watch 23. Watch 23 Bowles as he hits him. Boom, he just gets in there. He goes back. It's the second guy. It was Wilbur Marshall came in and stripped the ball out.
And Wilbur made the recovery as well. Redskin ball. Superdome in New Orleans. Darrell Green injured on that last play, being attended to. 1st and 10 Redskins at their own 38. They trail the Saints 14-3. And the Saint defense has done a good job containing the Redskin offense. Number 1 in the NFL. Rippon. Got Art Monk wide open. Monk inside the 10, out of bounds at about the 8. Stopped by Waymer and Atkins. 55-yard pickup.
Art Monk got right beyond Toy Cook. Toy Cook is up there on the top. You see if Monk just does a little stop and go, and when he stops, Cook stops. Then Monk starts, and Cook doesn't start. And that's why he is wide open.
When he stopped and looked back, Cook looked back. And that was the fatal mistake.
And the thing that gave Rippon the time was the roll out to the left.
1st and goal on the 7. The Saints have had a lot of opportunities, but they couldn't cash in. That's Riggs. And he crashes to about the 4. Atkins, the Saint defense. 3-yard gain.
Hey, that's the thing with receivers like Art Monk. You always have to watch out. Watch, here's Monk here. Here's Toy Cook. We see the stop. He stops. He goes, and he goes. And you got to stay with these guys all the time. You see what happened? What a move that was by Art Monk.
Beautiful. 2nd and goal from the 5. Same play, the handoff to Riggs, left side, and he hammers down to about the 1. About a yard short of putting some points on the board for Washington.
Watch again. Here's that counter tray. We're going to see, watch Mark May, 73. Big Joe Jacoby pulling there. See, Mark May just gets a little push right there, and that was the block that let Riggs get inside almost to the goal line.
Just inside the 1-yard line. Jacoby has adjusted well after so many years at left tackle, moving to right tackle. That's more difficult than you might think. Riggs again. Not in. Vaughn Johnson, bottom of the pile. I'll
tell you, Vaughn Johnson really uncorked on that one, didn't he? He's down there. Watch the front defense. Everyone gets low. And now watch 53 come in there. He just went, boing, he just took off like he was shot out of a cannon. Watch 53, right there. Watch him take off. Riggs started to go up. He took off and met him right in midpoint.
4th and goal from the 1. The Redskins have made up their mind, it would appear, that they're going to go for it. Now, Rippon says, I can't hear.
Now we got that noise rule in here.
Beg your pardon. Not yet. That's the 2-minute warning. But it looked like he was going to walk away anyway. 14 in the first half with the Redskins facing a 4th and goal, 4th and 1 situation. And they're going to go. Saints leading 14-3. And that's the noise meter on the left side of your picture. Rippon goes anyway. Gives to Riggs, and he doesn't make it. It's Vaughn Johnson again.
Jim Mora told us yesterday our 2 inside guys have to play better on defense. Vaughn Johnson is one of them. I'll tell you, he sure has these last 2 plays. Not only did they not make a touchdown, I think they lost. Watch the hat go on this one. Joe Gibbs already took his hat and his headset. That's Don Bro. He throws his hat. But I'll tell you, that was great defense. If you're going to run in there, you've got to get Vaughn Johnson blocked. They didn't play.
First down, Hebert back in his own end zone. Pass thrown outside to Brenner, incomplete, but a flag on the play. A.J. Johnson was the cover man. The marker goes down.
Pass interference, number 47. Defense, automatic first down.
Let's watch that 4th down play. Here's the guy that's going to make it, Vaughn Johnson, the 2nd time in a row. But watch him come and meet, and with the power that he meets that play. He's going to read it. Now he sees him going to that side. Now he sees him square. He squares. And watch him when he takes him. That is the end of the run.
He took him, as you say, John, very square. And when you knock a guy like Gerald Riggs and stop him and knock him back, that's strength. That's all you can say. This is Hilliard. He gets outside the 10 to about 13, stopped by Wilbur Marshall and Todd Bowles. But he got 7 yards.
You know, and I think the Redskins had to do that. I mean, you get down there 4th down. You got a big running back you're paying a lot of money to. You got a big offensive line they call the Hogs. You're supposed to do it. I mean, that's what those guys get paid for. I mean, if they can't do that, they shouldn't get paid as much as they get paid. Although the Saints come up with a great defensive effort.
2nd down and 3. Hilliard again. Hit by Marcus Cook right at the line of scrimmage. A pickup of 2 with the last surge. It'll be short of a first down. And now Gibbs wants a timeout. And finally gets it with 58 seconds remaining in the first half. The Saints up 14-3. The Saints and the host team leads 14-3 with just under a minute remaining. Both teams have 2 timeouts. The Redskins just took 1. It'll be 3rd and 1. The word on Darrell Green, number 28, is that he has a mild sprain of the knee. And his speed, certainly in a couple of cases, has been a key factor in this first half. He's saved a couple of touchdowns. Third and short. Hand off Dalton Hilliard. Close to first down yardage.
This one depends on where they spot it. If the Redskins get a good spot, they can take time out and get the ball back. If not, which they did, Now the Saints have the first down, and there's nothing the Redskins can do. I think the big thing in this first half, Redskins supposed to be the big running team. They've only gained 11 yards. New Orleans has rushed for 119 already.
First down, Saints. Hitch is back again. Dalton Hilliard. And there's no place for him to go as Wilbur Marshall was all over him. Loss of 6. Coming up at halftime, Brent and Irv with all the scores, highlights, and latest information. And Pat O'Brien's video log will bring you up to date on some of the offbeat stories that you might have missed. They run it out. That's the end of the first half with the score. The New Orleans Saints, the Saints lead the Redskins 14-3 as we get ready to start the second half. And they have pretty much dominated things so far.
I think this is a big stat right here that the Redskins have rushed for 11 yards, and the Saints have 116. Now, the Redskins are a running team. Joe Gibbs is a running coach. And if his team offensively can't run the ball, then they can't perform the way he wants them to. And I think to get things going offensively, the first thing he has to do is get some running game.
And so far, that man's team, Jim Mora, has dominated the line of scrimmage.
I think Jim Mora is an excellent coach. In fact, I think in this game here, we're seeing 2 of the best coaches in the NFL. I think that Joe Gibbs' team has more cards in their hand. I think that Jim Mora doesn't have quite the deck to play with that Joe Gibbs had.
But his team leads 14-3.
And he's always there. You know, I mean, they're one of those teams that no matter what, they're always going to be there. They're always going to give you a battle. They're always going to move the ball. They're going to swarm on defense. They've had a few bad things happen to them this year. They lose the big lead in Green Bay and lose that game, and it took them a while to recover from that.
Morton Anderson, one of the key factors in the Saints scheme. His kickoff this time is hit too low and comes short. A.J. Johnson. He gets to dump the box. Gets down to about the 28-yard line before Toy Cook brings him down after a return of 17 yards. 14-3, the Saints lead the Redskins. A struggling first half for Mark Rippon. 6 out of 13, 104 yards, and he's had a lot of pressure on him.
Well, he's had a lot of pressure, and I've always said if you want to know the best friend of a quarterback is a running game. That when a quarterback knows that he can run and he can gain yards, then everything else becomes possible. Then you got play pass, roll, drop back, everything. When you can't run, that puts a big, heavy burden on you.
First and 10 at the 28. Waymer leads up close to the line of scrimmage, and now he backs out. Rippon looks right on first down. Gets it outside to Ricky Sanders. Looked right, through left. Toy Cook on the stop. A gain of 4. Pass distribution.
You can see most of the time the Redskins pass to their wide receivers, although today is only 4 out of 11. And I think a big part of that is not having Gary Clark. He hasn't thrown to the tight end yet, 2 to the running back. Tight ends on the Redskins are mostly blockers anyway.
And a good one there.
And I think that not having Gary Clark takes an important part out of this machine.
Second and 6. Redskins at their own 32-yard line. Rippon. Batted down. Frank Warren got the hand up and knocked the ball down.
You know, if you look at the type of thing, of their total pass offense, they've had 853 yards. 74 to the running backs, and then look at what these 3 wide receivers do, Monk, Clark, and Sanders. Tight ends only have 41 yards, but those 3 guys provide the biggest percentage of that offense.
Third and 6, and they're 1 out of 6. A third down conversion. Monk is the man in motion. Rippon should be enough or very close to a first down to Ernest Biner. Ricky Jackson on the stop.
I was going to say Vaughn Johnson, who did so well down in the goal line, had Biner there zeroed in, and he shot an air ball. He came up and missed him. He completely missed him on that one. Down in the goal line, he was zeroed in. On this one, watch 53 here. He goes back into his zone. Now watch, as the ball comes, he's going to come in, and he just completely missed Viner, and Viner got the first down.
1st and 10 at the 38. 14-3, Saints leading. Rippon to Riggs. Riggs with Vaughn Johnson, Ricky Jackson, and Sam Mills wrap him up after a gain of only 1.
Ricky Jackson, we can see that face mask. We showed it earlier. In addition to the mask, they have the shield in there, and there's no way that a hand, a finger, anything can get inside there. And you see it's the right eye, and again, he has a plate above the right eye and a plate below the right eye.
And you asked him yesterday, how long is that plate going to stay in there, and he said for life.
That's it.
2nd down. Rippon gets it outside to Sanders. And Sanders got some operating room, gets the Redskin 1st down. Massey pushed him out of bounds. A gain of 18.
You know, one thing about these Redskin receivers, not only are they quick, do they catch, they're tough, but they're also good blockers. Art Monk made a block on that play that gave Sanders about 10 more yards. Watch Sanders, he's a short guy. And watch the deep guy. Watch Monk come back right here. Boom! He picks off Toy Cook, and that gives him another couple of yards.
And another 1st down.
There aren't a lot of receivers that will do that.
Riggs to the left. Lowers the shoulder, goes out of bounds by Gene Atkins. But he's not going to run out of bounds to avoid contact.
Riggs, I think, is worried about that fumbling thing. You know, it's funny that you fumble, but you can't think about fumbling. You know, once you start getting that in your mind, then you can't play. A running back just has to play on instinct and run and play. You can't think, why am I fumbling, or hold on to the ball, or anything of those things.
If you do, you won't hold on to it. That's the longest run of the day for the Redskins, 8 yards. This is Riggs again. This drive, being able to move it on the ground is what Joe Gibbs would like to do.
And I'll guarantee you that that's what he talked about at halftime, too. And that's what Joe Bugle talked about to that offensive line. And they said, you know, if this is what we're supposed to be, then let's be it. We can't play a half of football and only have 11 yards rushing.
That's a rather alarming statistic if you're a Saint fan. Here's Riggs again. Sam Mills and Gene Atkins on the stop as he couldn't find a hole. Stopped, tried to pick one, but it just wasn't there.
You know what the Saints defense does well is they don't let you cut back. You know, they'll let you go and give you a hole, but they don't let you cut back because they have everyone in pursuit.
3rd quarter with 11:15 left to play. 2nd and 7. Ball's at the Saint 23. Saints lead it 14-3. Rippon batted away by David Waymer, and almost an interception by Waymer. Sanders was the intended receiver, and that could have been a touchdown Saints.
I think that is a touch. If Waymer catches that ball, because he was going in the direction, he would have come across the field and gone all the way up that sideline. I think the Saints catch a break here. Watch Waymer. He's just sitting right there in the middle. Now watch, if he catches that thing and keeps coming right around this corner, there was no one out there. But boy, did he get a jump on that pass.
3rd and 7. Warren on the move. Rippon. Redskins have a 1st down. Massey knocked him out of bounds, but it's inside the 10.
The Redskins have been doing a good job of that rollout passing. Rippon just moves out to the right. Then he has a one-on-one. This time it was Monk out there on the rookie Robert Massey. But he's not having as much success, Rippon, in dropping back. He's having more success on that rollout, getting everyone to the inside and then getting outside and having a one-on-one.
1st and goal just inside the 10. Quick snap. Riggs. his own strength. Called it 5. Pat Swilling and Toy Cook brought him down.
One thing Riggs does well is finish off his runs. He gets the ball. Now, where you think he's going to get tackled, he makes about 3 more yards. In fact, he can pick up 2 yards in just the process of falling.
He got 4 that time, and he got down to the 6-yard line.
He's doubled his first half output as far as yardage
already. Jamie Morris has replaced Riggs now. He's the deep back. That's Biner on the move. The handoff is to Morris. And he hammers down to about the 1. Sam Mills.
Jamie Morris is upset. He wanted a touchdown. You know, when a running back gets here, they have instinct. They can feel holes and they can smell goal lines. And Jamie Morris got through and he could smell that goal line. He just couldn't get it there.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 1. The Redskins were here in the first half, and the Saints held.
I think they're taking a timeout. Talk about this one.
So they'll have 2 remaining, and they've kept the ball and controlled it. Superdome in New Orleans. Washington in this drive, the balance that they seek. 6 rushes, 6 passes. And it's 3rd and goal at the 1.
Let's see if they can get Vaughn Johnson blocked this time. I wouldn't be surprised if they win play pass here.
Riggs is back in instead of Morris. Play pass. Incomplete. He had him. They might take the field goal now in this situation.
I would think so, yeah. As we see the field goal team come on, they have to now. They tried to run it in there in the first half. They couldn't make it. So then they went play fake. You know, fake in the same place that they ran in the first half. Get the Saints to commit. Try and sneak the tight end out there, Donnie Warren. They did sneak him out there. Rippon just threw it a little too long. And they have to kick the field goal now.
And Lohmiller, who hit from 48, will try from 19. And puts it in the mezzanine deck. Good. 14-6. You saw Joe Gibbs just say to his team, good drive, guys. Nice drive. 14-6, 9:33 left. 3rd quarter. Saints still in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead the Redskins 14-6. Next, doubleheader coming up here on CBS. The Rams against San Francisco, or the Giants against Dallas in Dallas. The Redskins kept the ball 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Wound up with a field goal. Derek Shepard hit down inside the 10. Trying to bring it out of his end zone. Kurt Gobea down to make the stop.
Let's watch that 3rd down play, Pat, on the clicker. We're going to see Donnie Warren. Now watch him break off right at the top, right there. You see, as we bring him back, he's right up here. Now what happens is Rippon has to get it to him right now. He has to get it now, and he would have had him. But he waits a little too long, then he throws it too long. Or that would have been the touchdown.
1st and 10 Saints at their own 8-yard line. Their first possession of the second half. Bobby Hebert, the quarterback. Dalton Hilliard, alone back behind him. Listen, Hayward. And Ironhead gets out to about the 14. Alvin Walton tripped him up.
Let's watch the blocking here. Stan Brock is one of the best tackles in this league. I think he's a 10-year veteran. Says he wants to play 15 years. Watch him on man. He gets him going. Then he turns his body and does a cross body on him away from the way the back's going. There's a football player. There's a tackle. Old Stan Brock out of Colorado.
Jim Mora was saying yesterday he loves to practice. He just loves to play. He loves the game. Loves every facet. And a flag on the play.
That was a screen pass.
the Saints.
Probably against Dan Brock.
Holding number 67, offense.
It always is. The
Second
guy
down.
you talk about always gets a holding penalty. Here's Stan Brock right here. Now it's a screen, and he starts to block his man in pass protection. Watch him blocking Cook there. Now at the end, he's going to cut him. You see right there, he goes to cut him. I don't know where the hold is. What are you telling me about a hold already? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Didn't see it if there was.
Unless, you know, that first when he got his hands outside, but at the end he cut him to get his hands down for the screen.
2nd and 11. Hand off to Hilliard. Marcus Cook was the first Redskin to hit him after a pickup of 3.
Yeah, Stan Brock's been playing 10 years. Said he wants to play 15. Jim Morris said the toughest decision he's going to have to make, or maybe Brock will make it, is the day that he says he can't play anymore and that football is over for him. He said that'll be a sad, sad day in Stan Brock's life.
Because he enjoys the game so much. Would be hard for an offensive lineman to enjoy the game so much. Bear out of the spread. Boy deep, and he's got a man. Brett Perryman. A good throw from Hebert. And there's Stan Brock. I wonder if he loves it now.
They always love it when they get those big things. Watch that stance he starts with. He got a tough thing. He's blocking man there. See him, he has to stay between him and his quarterback. He can't let his guy get to the quarterback. He got his left knee bent back under him. He is hurt. But that was some throw by Bobby Hebert.
Perfect.
Watch Brett Perryman. He's isolated out there, and A.J. Johnson, the rookie, he just runs right by him. Perryman is the one guy with speed on this Saints offensive team.
Bobby Hebert with a perfect strike to Brett Perryman. And there's Stan Brock.
Tell you, we had a tough time with Stan Brock. We were talking about him, and then he gets a penalty one play after, and then the next play after that, he hurts his left knee.
Remind you that college football next Saturday here on CBS is Virginia against Clemson at 2:30 Eastern Time in Death Valley. Virginia won 4 in a row after their opening loss to Notre Dame in the Kickoff Classic. The records both 4-1 in Death Valley. That's Clemson.
I think Stan Brock knows he's hurt there. And I think, you know, he was saying, darn, because he knows it's more than just a little bruise or twist or something.
Evan Haverty has taken his place, and he'll have a job. Dumps it to Hayward. Marcus Cook came out of the defensive line to make the stop, but a gain of 7 for the Saints. And here's where you have to start being concerned. Just a few more yards, and you're in range for Morton Anderson.
Well, that was the thing that Joe Gibbs was concerned about. He said they got a couple things going for him. That ball control offense, Bobby Hebert being very concise. But one of the big worries is that kicker, Morton Anderson. Once they get inside the 50, they just need one first down, and they got a shot at a field goal.
2nd and 4. Hand off to Hilliard. He was hit at about the 35 by Alvin Walton and Raven Caldwell. Gain of 2.
They might be able to beat Walton, but watch him hit. I'll tell you, once the play's over, you're never safe. I mean, once you think it's over, you're down there, and someone's still going to come and try and get the ball out of your hands. That was Ironhead Hayward on the play before. On that last play, Alvin Walton really put a hit on.
3rd and 1. Ball's at the Redskin 35. So they're in range for Anderson if they don't get the first. He's got the first. The raw strength safety men, Walton and Bowles.
I think Ironhead Hayward is a guy who just has to play. I mean, I think you got to get him in there, and you have to run him the ball 25 times a game when you're going to see him be the real back that everyone expected him to be. I don't think he can be a spot player. I don't think he can just be a blocker or a receiver. He has to be a complete running back.
This time they have Hilliard split wide to the right, and Hayward is the lone setback. First down. Hebert back to throw it. The quick pass is incomplete. Flag on the play. Intended for Lonzell Hill, and Wilbur Marshall was all over it.
I think that's going to be on Wilbur Marshall. Wilbur's probably complaining that Lonzell Hill went into him, but there was contact before the ball got there.
Pass interference, number 58, defense. Automatic first down.
In fact, Mo Hill almost flies out of the screen. Watch him. He's 87 in motion. He's going to go up. Then he's going to come back underneath. Now watch it right there. You see, he did hit him. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Wilbur Marshall can't argue with that one. He hit him before the ball got there.
That can't be a sincere argument, at least.
Oh, you can't complain about the officiating on that one.
First down, Saints inside the Redskin 30-yard line. Hebert. Up the middle. That's Eric Martin, who made the catch in the crowd. And Hebert's down. Now flag on the play.
I think that's why he stayed down. He was upset. He knew that there was a penalty against them. That was some throw, though. There'll be a penalty against the Saints, but how Bobby Hebert got that ball into Eric Martin. Watch this throw. I mean, he's going to get pressure right there at the end. It starts to collapse on him. There was man right in his face, and he got that ball in there to Eric Martin with 3 defenders around him.
Wilson loosening up a little bit with Hebert taking a hit right at the end. Upset basically about the fact that they got the penalty. That's the 3rd holding penalty. And it brings up a 1st and 20.
Again, I think Bobby Hebert's injury they were worried about today was that right ankle, but he looks like he's moving pretty well, yes, although he hasn't really run yet.
He really hasn't had to.
He probably doesn't want to have to either.
He gives to Dalton Hilliard. And back down to about the 35 before he's stopped by Neil Olkowitz.
Now, the interesting thing now, the Redskins are playing defense in this second half the way the Saints played defense in the first half. Scrambling around, gang tackling, all those types of things.
Olkowitz replaced by Monty Coleman, who normally plays on passing down. 2nd and 17 at the 34-yard line.
Here's what they're looking for out here. Hilliard on Walton, man on man down here in the bottom.
Brenner, the intended receiver, as Wilbur Marshall put the pressure on Hebert.
I tell you, Walton did the job too. You know, they can complain when he gets beat or when he gets beaten for touchdowns, but this is the matchup. This is what they wanted to get. Watch Walton up there, 40. He gets on him. He just puts those hands on him. Boom, he can do that the first 5 yards. They just knocked Dalton Hilliard around. There was no way they could throw it to him. And he was going to be the primary receiver.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 17. That's Stan Brock. Injured his left knee earlier. And hold his 2nd. Timeout, Redskins. So, with 3:40 left to play 3rd quarter. The Saints continue to lead. It's 14-6. Louisiana Superdome, where the Saints, the host team, lead the Redskins 14-6. 3rd and 17 at the Redskin 34. Hebert operates out of the spread formation. Perryman was in motion. Incomplete. Intended for Lonzel Hill. Nothing there. And Anderson will come on. And this is the thing that Joe Gibbs was talking about. This will be 52 yards. But he can get it there.
He's missed a couple long ones this year, but I don't think that anyone would argue that he's still the best kicker in football. Well, I guarantee he has enough leg to get it done.
Oh, yeah. No good. It was far enough. He had it there. Just not straight enough. And so with 3:31 left in the third quarter, 14-6, the Saints continue a choice as to who his successor might be. Rippon fakes. It's going to go deep. Now he comes out of the pocket, tripped up at the last second by Frank Warren. He gained 4 yards. It'll bring up a second down.
You know, it's an interesting thing that we're here, and Pete Rozelle, the commissioner, is here, and here are the commissioner finalists. They're going to meet on the 10th of October in Dallas. Jim Finks, of course, the fine general manager and president here, he almost had the job in July 6th. Everyone thought he was going to be the commissioner. I still think that he would be a great choice.
I think he will be the choice. Darrell Riggs, the ball carrier, over the left.
You know, I think it's interesting that Pete Rozelle was here in New Orleans. He had dinner last night, I guess, with Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints. And he's sitting up there in Tom Benson's box. Jim Finks is in another area. The meeting's coming up October 11th, as you say. Pete Rozelle will be very happy when they get his successor. And his successor right now could very well be sitting in the same building.
Third down and short. About a yard and a half for the Redskins. Rippon fakes. Terry Orr got behind everybody. Gene Atkins saved the touchdown. It'll be first and goal, Redskins, a gain of 48.
That was an excellent play call. What they're doing is they're going to play fake. You see, they get all the defense up in here, and then they're going to get Terry Orr, and he's just going to break from the outside. What Terry Orr is down here in the bottom. See, he just runs by everyone. There's no one covering him. They don't see him. By the time Atkins realizes it, it's too late.
His first reception of the year. First and goal at the 19. Riggs, right side with room. Touchdown.
The Redskins weren't fired up the first half of this game, but they're fired up this half. They're out there, the things they couldn't do in the first half, they're doing now. They got short yardage. They play pass. They get a big play. Then they get down here towards the goal line. Watch Riggs. He starts to the inside. Then he bounces it outside. Gets a block by Biner right there, number 21, and just takes it in the end zone.
He got an outstanding block from Johnny Warren, the tight end also. He sealed off everything. Riggs, 9 yards. Touchdown Redskins. And now they trail by only 13. The Saints lead has been cut to 1. 4 plays, 65 yards, a 9-yard touchdown by Riggs. A key play, the 48-yard reception by Terry Orr. Derek Shepard at about the 1. Flag comes flying. Kurt Gouveia again made the stop, but a penalty on the play.
There's Reggie Branch. He's the special teams captain. In fact, number 29, Branch here, was the guy that last week, when the Redskins played the Cowboys, and Elizabeth Taylor called the heads, it was Reggie Branch that said, hey, She can't call for them.
Illegal block, number 90 on the return. First down.
Reggie Branch, number 29.
He is a tough guy, but he was out there in the thing, and I guess Elizabeth Taylor called heads, and it was heads, and they said, okay, Dallas could choose, and Reggie Branch said, no, they can't choose. She can't pick for them. The visiting team gets to call
the coin. First and 10 Saints. Dalvin Hilliard behind Hebert. Up by Darrell Grant and Alvin Walton after a pickup of just 2 yards.
This funny, Pat, is like two separate halves. The first half, it was the Saints swarming everything and being able to run. This half, it's the Redskins being able to run and swarming everything on defense. I don't know what Joe Gibbs said to the Skins at halftime, but he ought to can it.
It worked. Their average starting position in the second half has been their own 8-yard line. It's tough to put together too many drives when you start from that deep in your own territory. The draw play is to Hayward. There's nothing there. Raven Caldwell. Well, you saw earlier the Saints have been outscored this year 21-0 in the third quarter, and that statistic is going to increase.
Watch the play Charles Mann makes here. He just takes the center court, throws him to the side, and he's right in the backfield before they can even get started.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Saints 14, the Redskins 13. Ready to start the fourth quarter at the Superdome. The Saints have the ball, 3rd and 9 on their own 9. Sure, he's picked up. Motion to his right. And they do pick everybody up. Ooh, that was almost picked off. That was almost disaster. A.J. Johnson on the coverage. Brett Perryman, the intended receiver. The Saints will have to punt.
They say that A.J. Johnson has athletic arrogance. I think that means if the guy plays against you, he's a cocky son of a gun. If he plays for you, he has athletic arrogance.
Well, you need that to play that position.
Oh, you have to. I mean, there's those guys, those cornerbacks, they're out there on an island, and you can't worry about what's going to happen to you nor what has just happened to you.
Winslow back to punt. Joe Howard back deep for the Redskins. A fine punt. Flag on the play. Corner can't. Here come 2 more flags. Looks like the 4th of July out there.
But there's another flag. They're coming from all over.
A little scuffle in front of the Saint bench.
You know, the interesting thing about that, I think there were 4 flags down on that play, and no hats or beanbags. The first thing they throw is their flag, so that means that 4 different officials have to have a penalty on this play.
This will be interesting to see how long it takes Mark Bright, the referee, to call this with 4 flags at different times.
He's going to have to get what each one has.
We have 2 fouls, both on the receiving team. Holding number 34, receivers is declined. Illegal block, number 29, receiving team, on the return, is enforced. First down.
So what that means is that 4 officials saw 2 penalties. And they picked the Reggie Branch one. It was number 25 of the 29 of the receiving team.
In any case, the Redskins have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. And they trail by a point.
And they have momentum.
Monk is split wide to the left. Ripken gives to Riggs. And nothing doing there. Wayne Martin made the stop. And for another NFL update, let's send you back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat, another touchdown pass for Tommy Kramer, who has filled in so well for the injured Wade Wilson. This one to Leo Lewis, 28 yards, and the score there is 17-3. Back to Pat and John.
Score here is 14-13, just in the opening seconds of the fourth quarter. 2nd and 9. Jamie Morris in place of Riggs. Reverse, or a fake reverse, to Monk. Out to Morris. Hit behind the line of scrimmage and taken down. Ricky Jackson. A loss of 4. That one had all the cards and all the tricks and nothing worked.
I know Ricky Jackson is so proud of himself. The thing that makes you proud of yourself as a linebacker is that you didn't get fooled. They have a fake, a thing, and then they come back, and you see Ricky Jackson stay there and makes a play. You know, because of reverse, they wanted him to go running across the other side of the field, then spring back to where he left from.
3rd and 12. It was a good idea. Rippon. He threw a high slider out of bounds.
There's that 3rd down defense coming through again for the Saints.
And Mosienko will come in to kick for the Redskins.
Ricky Jackson made the 2nd down play that got this crowd alive again.
Derek Shepard standing back deep for the Saints. Ralph Mosienko. He's gotten off a couple of great punts. This one's not that good. Dropped it. The Redskins had a shot at it, and I think they have it. At least they're indicating Bostic was the man down, the man who did the snapping, and the Redskins do have it.
Derek Shepard has done some strange things today, Pat. One, of course, he used to play for the Redskins, dropping that pass. Remember early, he brought one out of the end zone, caught a punt on the goal line. Maybe he's trying to do too much. Maybe instead of just playing solid, you can see exactly what he did. He took his eyes off the ball and started to look at the cover guys. But that's about 3 errors that Derek Shepard has made thus far.
It's hard to catch it if you don't watch it.
Hey, he has put his team in a big, big hole here.
Dave Harbour was the man who did the snapping, and he was the man who came down and made the recovery.
I think Derek Shepard wants too big a game against his old teammates. In preseason when they played, he had a big punt return for a touchdown. I think sometimes instead of just being solid, he's trying too hard to make something happen.
Morris and Biner. The fake is to Morris. The throw is to Sanders. There's a flag on the play. Toy Cook was the cover man for the Saints.
That's going to be against Toy Cook because you could see him grab him before the ball was thrown. Toy Cook is trying to say that it's against the Redskins.
Pass interference, number 83.
It is against Sanders.
1st down.
Boy, that could be where you just see the second guy. You don't see the first guy. But it's right up here. It's the top of the picture. There's Sanders. Now let's see what he does. Cook is to the inside. See him, he gets his hand up there. Sanders pushes him right there with the right, and that's the one that pushed off. That's the one they got him on. It looked like they were both mauling each other.
It did.
I don't know how you... Maybe a maul goes to the home team.
So it's 1st down. And 20 to go. Morris the lone setback. Biner in motion. Blitz coming. They're not going to get there. Rippon gets it to Monk. Stopped by Massey. But he gets down after a pickup of 14 inside the Saint 50.
That was some throw by Rippon. They pick up the blitz here. Good block. And now watch Rippon. He throws that ball to the out all the way across the field. That is a zip. Watch Monk. Massey's going to fall down. You see right there, he starts to run. Then he goes to the inside. Then he goes down. So Art Monk is wide open before Massey recovers.
Rippon to Morris. Gets behind the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards. A pickup of 2. He's hit first by James Gethers. Wilkes was the second man there.
Here's Gary Clark. We talked to him last night. He wanted to play so badly. He really couldn't practice all week and thought he could just kind of gut it out. He wanted to know from Humphries what the play was. And he says, darn, that was either he's mad because it's a running play, or if he were in there, it would have been his play. I bet it's a running play.
Rippon back to throw it. Come on. At about the 5, and he falls to the 4. Atkins, the cover man, but it'll be a Redskin first down.
Art Monk is a possession guy, and he runs what they call an option cut on that one. If the defender plays inside, he goes out. If the defender plays outside, he goes in. And they just read the defense.
Backup quarterback Stan Humphries next to Joe Gibbs. First and goal, Redskins at the 4. This is Morris to about the 2.5.
And the Redskins look like they're a team that runs to the right most of the time. Remember a few years ago they would run inside and run to the left so much, but now I'm sure they've run to the left. I don't remember a run to the left. Most of them have been either right inside or to the right today.
Second and goal now. About the 2.5. Rippon to Morris. Not quite. Swilling took him out of bounds at about the half. He got 2 yards.
There's one to the left. They watch the job that this Saint defense does of stringing it out. You see down the line, down the line, down the line. Make him pop out and then just pin him right into the sideline before he can get into the end zone.
Brings up a third and goal.
Hey, you watch Jamie Morris. He's looking for a place to cut, and he just can't find anything. So he ends up just running it out of bounds.
That last surge by Atkins got him out of bounds. Third and goal. Inside the 1. They give to Morris again. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. I beg your pardon, it's Ernest Biner. No gain. They got a field goal now.
Great goal line defense again by the Saints. They did it in the first half. They did it in this half. Watch this line of scrimmage. They're going to run here to this right side. Saints control the line of scrimmage. Nothing to cut into. Get the safety up there right on the line of scrimmage. That was Brett Maxey. He makes the play. Good force and support.
So from 18 yards away, Lohmiller will try to put the Redskins ahead, and does. His third of the day. And so, with 10-11 left to play in the game, the Redskins take the lead, 16-14. John, whatever the turnaround was, whatever he said at half, Joe Gibbs, certainly has been effective.
I think that helped, and I think the thing that Joe Gibbs is upset about now is they've gotten those 4 turnovers, but they've only gotten 6 points out of it, that they couldn't nail that one in down there, and Derek Shepard really has hurt the Saints today.
Out of the end zone. Gene Atkins to about the 18. Greg Minuski and A.J. Johnson come down to make the stop. The Redskins lead by 2 points, 16-14.
As you said, Greg Minuski sounds like a special teams player, a cover guy. He looks like one. He runs like one. He acts like one. He has a haircut like one. He plays like one. He tackles like one. And then after all that, he'll get up and have a smile on his face. That's how you tell he's a Minuski.
And he got the congratulations.
Oh, yeah, they love it, man. Run all the way down there and found some action at the end.
Bobby Hebert. 1st and 10 Saints with Dalton Hilliard behind him. Saints ball their own 19. Hebert dumps it out to John Tice. The backup tight end stopped by Wilbur Marshall. For an NFL update, that's again send you back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat, it must be Green Bay Packer time. The fourth quarter, and watch this play. Mikowski to Query. He coughs it up inside the 5. Sterling Sharp standing there, says, I'll get into this action. Touchdown. It's now 21-13, 13 minutes to go. Back to Pat and John.
9:25 left to play. 2nd and 5 Saints at their own 24. Harriman in motion. The handoff is to Hilliard. Stopped by Darrell Grant. And nothing there. The word from the Saints is that Stan Brock can return. He had wrenched his knee. He's not in there now, but he's available.
You know, they have a rookie in there now playing for him, Kevin Haverdink, who I think is going to be a pretty good player. I mean, he's a big guy, like 6'6", 285 pounds. Not a fat guy. I mean, just one of those big, raw-boned, strong guys. I think he's going to be a pretty good tackle in this league.
3rd down and 4 at the 25. Hebert again out of the shotgun. Hebert. Pass was intended for Lonzel Hill. Incomplete. He just overthrew. Just missed.
I know. He just tried to put that ball in there. He had him. The most upset guy is Bobby Hebert, because he sees that he has Bo Hill there, and it's just outside the fingertip. I mean, you talk about a pass that is just that little off. That was it.
So Winslow will punt. Joe Howard back deep for Washington. Signals fair catch. The ball takes a bounce away from him, from Howard, and continues for the Saints' benefit. Down to the 25 now. And that's where they down it. A 50-yard punt that didn't look like much to begin with. 16-14. Redskins lead with 8:09 left to play. Good one, John.
Well, 2 undefeated teams in the same division, and as John Robinson was saying before the game, and the pregame show, that he feels that his team is now ready to be competitive with the 49ers. He didn't always feel that way, but he feels that now they're on that same level.
The handoff is to Morris. Is the flag on the play? Morris out of bounds by Vaughn Johnson. Yeah, he feels that Jim Everett has reached somewhere close to the same plateau with Joe Montana. And he thinks his receiving core is a lot better.
Illegal motion foul, number 21, offense. First down.
The reason, by the way, that Morris is getting so much playing time has nothing to do with Gerald Riggs' bruised sternum, which he came into the game with, but because he twisted his knee the last time he carried the ball. He can come back if need be.
Yeah, that's a tough deal. You got a sprained knee one side, and then the sternum on the top, and you got all those black jersey guys chasing you.
That's Morris again on first down, stopped by Frank Warren. Russ Grimm, by the way, has been getting a rest as well. McKenzie has taken his place. Russ twisted his knee.
Yeah, Russ Grimm hasn't played and really played for any length of time in a number of years, and he's back now, and Joe Gibbs feels that he's really a catalyst to that offensive line, and sometimes when a guy's not there, you don't realize how much you miss him.
Hard to believe he was a quarterback in high school.
I think he's still their 3rd quarterback.
I think he is. Here's Rippon out of the pocket. Lets a wobbler go over the head of Monk. Late pressure by the Saints.
He let the wobbler go. That thing didn't come out of there straight. That thing came out of there like a boomerang. Yeah, I think sometimes you forget that Mark Rippon hasn't really played that much. You know, he's only his third year in the league, hasn't started that many games. And the Redskins were always such a good team that a quarterback can't grow with them. You know, he has to come in and be a top guy right now.
Third down and 12. Redskins at their own 23. Ripping back to throw it. Come on. Incomplete. Again, Rippon didn't have much time to stand in there.
And that was good coverage. And the thing that had been haunting the Saints before this game, they're doing very well today. That's that third down defense.
Derek Shepard back deep for the Saints. Again, he has to be thinking about what happened previously.
He just better think about catching it and being safe and not doing something stupid.
Again, Moshenko gets off a great punt. Well, he caught it. To about the 26-yard line. Novea again. 57-yard punt. Moshenko has put on some exhibition of punting today. And Shepard gets up limping. 16-14, Redskins by
punt because you know, you got 11 guys coming down, and you never know when it's over. Look, these guys are his friend. I mean, there's still guys firing on him. And, you know, you have to catch the ball. You have to concentrate. You have to see your blockers, and then you know you're going to get hit by a whole batch of them.
First and 10 Saints at their own 26. Hill with the motion man. Hebert and Hayward to about the 31. Raymond Caldwell brought him down after a gain of 5.
I'll tell you one thing, Stan Brock is out of there. They got Kevin Haverdink, the rookie, playing right tackle here, and I'll tell you, he's doing a good job. He's out there. He has to block Manley this time, Dexter Manley. See 70 come out, just ride him up beyond, and let Hebert step up.
Second and 5. Hebert, the quick pass again. This time to Eric Martin. Saints first down. Stopped by Brian Davis, a gain of 8.
You know, that's the thing. You know, we talk about the right tackle, Haverdink here. First of all, last time he was blocking Manley. Now this time he's blocking Mann. So here you are, a rookie, and the two guys you have to block are Charles Mann and Dexter Manley, two top pass rushers. So I tell you, this guy is really holding his own. He's playing very solid.
Of course, it helps when Hebert takes only a 3-step drop and unloads that quickly.
And all you have to do is turn him to the outside.
That's all. Hebert is down by Manley. A loss of 7.
But I'll tell you, that time he didn't do it. Mann pushed Haverdink into the quarterback, and Manley was able to come from the backside and sandwich him. Finally, both the ends got there on that one.
We better stop talking about these guys.
I know, every time you do it happens. But watch it. Here, we'll see from this side, we'll see Mann coming from the right, Manley coming from the left. You see Mann really made Hebert back into Manley to get the sack.
Second and 17. 5:14 left to play. Redskins lead by 2. The quick pass is to Martin. Saint first down in Redskin territory. A pickup of 20, and finally Todd Bowles made the stop.
Hey, how he gets rid of the ball so quickly. I mean, he just comes right back here. Watch him, just 3 steps. Boom, he hits that slant in there to Martin. I mean, how do you do it? Watch, 1, 2, 3. Martin didn't make any move at all. He just hit him right up the hash marks there.
First down, Saints at the Redskin 49. First and 10.
You know, Hebert threw that last one, Pat, before he even took 3 steps. I think that was about a 1.5 step drop. Throw
to Hayward this time. It's another Saint first down. to the Redskin 35. And for an NFL update, let's go back to New York and Brent Musburger.
And Pat, we've also got fireworks in Milwaukee. Green Bay with 9 minutes to go gets on the board again against Atlanta. Herman Fontenot with a great catch. Deion Sanders ran the kickoff back for a touchdown, but it was called back. 21-20, Atlanta in the fourth. Back to Pat.
And at the Superdome, it's 16-14. Clock running with 3:45 left to play. Hayward is the lone setback. Here comes the Redskin blitz. And it came a little early. And Hebert knows about it.
Oh, that could hurt. I don't think you get a free shot at a quarterback. Wilbur Marshall took it. He jumped off sides. But I don't know about that. I don't know just because you jump off sides and the whistle blows that you should get a free shot at the quarterback.
That's what those Saint coaches were saying. What a cheap shot.
I think that one has to be an unnecessary roughness penalty. I really do. I think when the whistle blows, you have to stop.
Dexter Manley is not your hometown favorite here.
Well, it was about this time of the game last year in Washington when he spit on Dombrowski. Dombrowski punched him, and it cost the Saints 15 yards and got him out of field goal. If this were against the Saints, it would be ludicrous.
We have a 5 and a 15-yard penalty. We have a false start, number 65, offense. That penalty is disregarded. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 58, defense. That penalty is enforced.
Well, you're right.
I think that had to be. That had to be. Now watch, you're going to see Steve Trapillo, the right guard, move, and they penalize him. But just because he does, I don't think you get a free shot at the quarterback. Although I will say in defense of Wilbur Marshall, he really didn't take a shot at him. He didn't take a shot at his head, and he tried to pull off. I mean, that wasn't a cheap shot.
First and 10 Saints at the Redskin 21-yard line. 3:39 left to play. Again, they're showing blitz, the Redskin defense. Handoff to Hayward, straight ahead. Raven Caldwell led the defense. A gain of 2.
Well, you know what the Saints are doing? They're keeping Hilliard outside and not running him, trying to get Walton, who's a good run support guy, out. Then they can run to Hayward, and they think they run against one less guy.
They're using as much of the clock as they can. 2nd and 9. They're going to, it would appear, put it on the foot of Morton Anderson. They're at the 20-yard line. Hilliard now stays in the backfield. He's the lone setback. 3 tight ends. Less than 3 minutes left to play. Martin is the man in motion. Hilliard tries to get to the outside and gets out of bounds. Raven Caldwell took him out. Stops the clock with 2:43 remaining. No gain.
He's got a good block out there from his backup tight end, John Tice, number 82, who has a brother who plays for the Redskins. They're both tight ends, both backup tight ends in this game. There's John Tice.
3rd and 9. Ball's at the 19. 2:43 left. And out of bounds by Hilliard. Stop the clock. And from this spot, they just don't want to throw an interception or have a fumble.
They will throw something, though.
Yep, he's in a shotgun formation. But he'll be careful. Hebert out of the pocket, over the head of the intended receiver, Eric Martin. It just took off. Another one of those wobblers. Fred Stokes is the man who put the pressure on Hebert. Anderson, 4 out of 8 against the Redskins in his career. This one looks to be about 36 yards out.
If there's anything automatic for any kicker, this ought to be. Morton Anderson has a new holder in George Winslow. So I think the important, I mean, you know, he has a leg and he has a kick. I think it has to be a good holding spot for him.
37 yards away. 36, make it official. No good. They got everything they wanted. Except the finish.
That is unbelievable. That happened in Washington, too. The same thing. Morton Anderson missed against him. Here he's missed 2 today. This guy's a premier kicker in the league. I think if the Saints had confidence going into this game and anything, that was one of the biggest things Jim Mora had confidence in.
You can't believe it.
On the other side, the biggest thing Joe Gibbs was worried about was the kicking of Morton Anderson.
Now the Redskins have only 1 timeout remaining. At this point, that's okay. The Saints have all of theirs, and they're going to have to start using it. Morris. Right side for about 3. Frank Warren made the stop. Timeout.
Hey, the Saints are just fighting for everything in this one because talking about the Rams and 49ers playing coming up here, both undefeated. Saints being 1 and 2, boy, it would be tough if after 4 games if you were 3 out in your division.
And there's Doug Williams, by the way, in that huddle. The coach is closed with his back to you. Here's the attempt again by Anderson.
I don't know. Everything looks pretty good. The snap was pretty good. The hold was pretty good. He was on the left hash. I think he just kicked it straight up the hash and a little to the left.
Plenty of distance.
He's trying to bring it in.
I know how it feels. The scoring summary. The first quarter. Lohmiller hit a 48-yard field goal to put the Redskins ahead, and then New Orleans pass from Hebert to Hill put them ahead, and then Dalton Hilliard scored from 3 yards out to make it 14-3, and the Saints looked like they had total control. Then the Redskins came back in the third quarter. Riggs got the touchdown from 9 yards away. And then Lohmiller put him ahead with a field goal. There's Jamie Morris. Over the left side to about the 25, a gain of 2. Wilkes on the stop. The Saints take their second timeout. So they have 1 left. Some of the other scores: Cleveland over Denver. Broncos had been unbeaten. Cincinnati was behind early, and they have finally taken the lead over Kansas City. Houston shutting out Miami, and Pittsburgh, after a disastrous beginning of the season, lead Detroit. Minnesota 17-3 over Tampa Bay. Wade Wilson been replaced at quarterback because of an injury by Tommy Kramer. Atlanta by 1 over Green Bay. Indianapolis Colts over the Jets 17-10.
This is a big down here, Pat, because if the Saints can get him here, they still have 1 timeout, but they have the 2-minute warning. And if they can get a couple first downs, I think Morton Anderson could still have another shot at this game. But if those things are going to happen, the Saints are going to have to hold them on this 3rd down.
3rd and 4. That's a big 3rd and 4. 2:22 left to play. Ernest Biner, the man in the backfield. That's Ricky Sanders. He moves over with Monk, and now Monk goes in motion. Rippon gets it up the middle. It could be a first down to Biner.
That is going to be awfully close because it's right on the line there. I think if it's on the right side, as we look at the screen, if it's on the right side, it's a first down. Left side, it's not. I think we can see that it's already on the right side, and it's already a first down, and the Saints took their last time out.
2:10 remaining. They'll have that 2-minute warning, and then they can't stop it.
Hey, this has been a tough week for Redskin coach Joe Gibbs. His father, J.C. Gibbs, had a massive stroke during the week, so twice this past week, Joe Gibbs left the team to go and visit his dad, who's in intensive care in California. And it kind of puts everything in perspective. On one hand, your father is sick and you're getting ready for a game, and Joe, being the man he is and the son that he is, wanted to be there, and so he would fly to California and all night, then come back and coach, and then go back to California again and then come back to coach. And this has been a very trying time, a very trying week for Joe Gibbs.
If there can be anything positive about that, when he was gone, the team was left in good hands. Richie Pettibone, who runs the defense, took over that. Joe Bugle, the assistant head coach, ran the offensive part of the plan, and Wayne Sevier, the special team.
That's what Joe said last night. He said, "I'm just grateful that I have such fine assistants."
And off to Morris. Over the right side, and a flag on the play. Dave Waymer made the stop. Penalty marker down. And that stops the clock with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining.
That's against the Redskins. That's a big thing, because that picks up another timeout. Because that stops the clock. I think it's holding against the Redskins. I would say that if it is, that the Saints would turn it down because they need time to get the ball back.
Holding number 86, offense. Penalty declined. Second down.
Call against Tice.
That's Mike Tice, the brother of John Tice. But again, the big thing, the Saints didn't want to give him another down because they're out of timeouts, but that gives them a timeout. The fact that they stopped because of a penalty, plus they still have the 2-minute warning yet to come.
2nd and 7. So that could turn out to be a key penalty. Here comes the blitz. Barnes ahead to about the 38. Wilkes on the stop, but he got 4 big yards. Now the 2-minute warning. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and 3 for the Redskins. 16-14 they lead. Following football, except on the West Coast. 3rd and 3. 2 minutes left to play. Rippin to Biner, and he's got the first down and a lot more. Biner gets the big first down. An 18-yard pickup. Robert Massey and the Saints out of timeouts.
And I think with that play by Biner, Morton Anderson just realized that he's not going to get an opportunity to try another field goal today. But he had the opportunity, he had 2, and he missed that last one. I'll tell you, a kicker doesn't get a lot of opportunities, and when they do, if they don't make them good, it's a long time before they get to try the next one.
And it's longer for him than anybody else. He'll just kneel. Coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III, who was here earlier this week all over the situation. Today, produced by Robert Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman, the executive producer of CBS Sports, Ted Shaker.
You know, Joe Gibbs isn't going to smile yet, but I know one thing. The first half, he's talking to Doug Williams there. The first half, his team only rushed for 11 yards. The second half, they rushed 20 times for 87 yards. The first half was not a Redskin team. The second half was.
So that should just about do it. This telecast presented by the authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. Tough loss for Jim Mora. His record, his team drops to 1-3. The Redskins level it at 2-2. So for John Madden, I'm Pat Summerall saying so long from New Orleans, where the final score was the Redskins 16, the Saints 14.